Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach. Today is Thursday, June 18th, and I am joined by the one, the only, Mr. Andrew Hansen. How are you today, Andrew?
I'm doing great, Coach. Another big night in the KBO last night. Our golfers are off to a solid start, so it's an exciting Thursday here.
It is. We're coming off the doubleheader yesterday, which was the first double podcast day for us. It seems the month of firsts for us. We've got all this stuff that we're breaking into, so it's good stuff. So we've got KBO, really nice KBO card tonight, and then tomorrow we have our second doubleheader of the week with KBO, and then our PGA weekend special, which I may be reloading on a few spots. I may be wearing my hat backwards.
Yes, very good chance.
Yeah, Graham McDowell just did not get it done today. If you'd have picked Homa against him, I'd have been okay.
Good thing I didn't, right? My man's Jim Furyk, just steady as she goes.
Yeah, he is. He is steady. Yeah, he's the man. He gets it done there. There's no doubt about it. But today is KBO. We're exciting. Great job yesterday with you and Shane, Sugar Shane. You guys did a fantastic job, and we're in there in Discord 30 minutes before with that surprise rain out and everything, and it really paid off. I mean, we said it every day we do a KBO show is, we feel we have a big advantage on all this because a lot of people just aren't being able to get up or stay up or whatever it is to correct some of those lineups. And, as you know, that makes just a substantial difference when you avoid a zero anywhere. So great stuff. We're going to keep it going. We've got 42 days until the NBA's back, and I cannot wait. I don't know if I've ever been this excited for a return from a sport. It's one of those things like you totally don't, understand how much you enjoy something until it's 100% taken away from you, and how much you just appreciate, what is normally going to happen. But, it's been such a wavy time frame for everybody figuring it out. I mean, the fact that we've got this now, and then all the intrigue of all in one spot and 3 different courts and multiple games. I mean, it's going to be a DFS heaven. I mean, I can't even imagine. So, but in that 42 days until we get that going, we're just going to rock and roll with KBO and PGA and just keep tearing it up. Before we get started, real quick, thanks to our 2 sponsors that are the ones that bring this show to you on a daily basis, actually 6 days a week, 2 doubleheaders on Wednesdays and Fridays. And that's MyBookie. Go to mybookie.ag for all your sports wagering and casino action. And you get that exclusive offer only for Coach Talk members, which is a 50% sign-up bonus up to $1,000 and a $25 free play. And you have to sign up through DFSCoachTalk.com. And the promo code is, guess what? Coach Talk, all one word. And then also TVG. It's a big weekend for TVG. The Belmont Stakes is Saturday. I'm fired up for that. My daughter's wedding is Saturday, though. So I will be recording all that Belmont action and watching it later that evening. But anyway, TVG is definitely the place where the world watches and wagers on horse racing. Join TVG at DFS Coach Talk and get an offer that only members from DFS Coach Talk can get, and that's a $300 risk-free bet. So if you do happen to have a horse you love in the Belmont on Saturday, this is your chance, man. $300. If he loses, it is refunded to you from TVG. So fantastic stuff. We love both of our sponsors. Give us a quick rate, review, and specifically subscribe and listening to us on social media. We're all over the place, Twitter, certainly our podcast is on everywhere, Spotify, you name it, all the Apple podcasts. And, on YouTube, you can actually watch this version of it, the video version of it. And just subscribe. That's the best thing I could ask. Hit that alarm button so you know when we come on. and you don't miss a show. So great stuff. KBO, here we go. 5-game slate, all 5:30 a.m. starts, which is fantastic, and we will take it game by game. I just clicked on the mybookie.ag app, went to sports betting and KBO League Baseball, and we have the up-to-the-moment odds. So the first game on the board is the Hanwha Eagles, 9-30. That hurts. And the NC Dinos, 26-11. So we look at that on my bookie, and you've got would you believe the NC Dinos are minus 526?
Yeah, I know. I looked earlier. It opened at minus 500, and it's
well,
been
guess
bet
what?
Up.
It
been
just
bet up
clicked.
Even more.
Minus 555. So not only are people laying that money, they're laying it hard.
Yep.
I mean, minus 550. So it's just crazy. I cannot believe that it's that big of a number. That's nuts. But anyway, and it's a 9.5 over under, which is right in the middle of the pack today. So interesting. Give us the skinny here. It's hard not to want to take the Dinos pitcher because of the win possibilities with that kind of odds. But what do you think?
Yeah, the skinny is simply Chang Mo Koo, the slender left-handed ace for the Dinos.
Yeah.
And he's been absolutely dominant this year, undefeated 5-0, ERA under 1, whip of only .69, more than a strikeout per inning. His the max amount of earned runs he's given up in any of his 7 starts is 1. The minimum number of strikeouts he's had in any of his wins is 6. Guy's just an absolute lock for any cash game.
How do you fade him? I mean, I don't know how you can fade him.
I just don't think it's worth it. Just lock him in, enjoy it. Be happy about the fact that he's under 10K on DraftKings. He's only $26 on FanDuel. Just celebrate it, enjoy it, plug him in. Don't think twice about it. Don't even worry about the Hanwha bats. But we do want to look at the Dinos bats as well. So they're going up against Bum Soo Kim, a lefty who has not started this year, and it's a rough spot for him to get your first start against the Dinos. These guys we know are just dominant up and down the lineup. They crush lefties and righties. My 3 favorite Dinos today, Sung Bum Na is the one lefty I'm looking at. He doesn't discriminate. He hits .383 and he's hit 4 homers against lefties this year. So only problem there is he's expensive. He's $6,000 on DraftKings.
Yeah.
2 slightly cheaper bats. We've got Kang, who's 4,500, and listen to this: he's batting .448 against lefties with 4 homers.
Wow.
And then our boy Aaron Altair, he's down at the bottom of the order, but he has destroyed lefties this year: .407 and 5 homers, and he's only 5,200. So these are the nights we want to use Altair when they're facing a lefty. And I'm going to have.
We always have to give Sugar Shane a shout out every time we roster a number 8 hitter.
Oh yeah, he'll have Altair in every lineup.
Oh, he'll have 5 or 6 of those number 8 hitters for sure.
Yeah. So for me, it's Koo and it's several Dinos bats, and we hope for a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, this just and Koo's a free square. I mean, what do you think he's going to be owned? 85%? I mean, it's going to be probably the highest of the year of anybody, I bet.
Definitely on DraftKings, yeah. I would say 80 to 85%. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
He'll be on FanDuel where you only get one pitcher. You got to take him. So, yeah, it's Chalk City. So the bottom line is, you're not going to make a lot of ground up on anybody with him, but you're not going to lose any ground either. So the key will be the second pitcher. That's where everybody's going to have a different strategy to go high, low. There's a lot of options for the number 2 pitcher. I love the middle of that order. It's weird that the Dinos have 3 lefties, 1, 2, 3 in the order against the lefty. But Sung Bum Na can hit anybody. Like you said, he's Boros is his agent. He's going to be in the majors at some time. I would think Koo's got a great chance to be in the majors as well. I mean, he's a lefty too, and he can deal it. So it's going to be fun when these guys when all the sports are back and these KBO guys that we just went through all these tough times with and got through it, when they get into the major leagues, we're going to have such a soft spot for them for sure.
Yes, we will, no doubt.
There's no question. But I'm with you. I mean, I still remember when we were rostering Kang initially, like at 2,400, 2,500. Remember when he started out super cheap? So he has definitely made his way up, but I still don't think he's priced right. I think he's still a bargain without question. So, I mean, he's just an automatic for me as well. And what do you think of Quan, the right fielder?
Yeah, surprisingly, he's done more of his damage against righties. He's only batting 250 against lefties with 1 homer. Smaller sample size, but he is a really good price. So that's a good way to get a little bit different, is to go cheap and hope that he picks it up against this lefty.
Because the only thing that bugs me with Altier, and you know me with the guys at the bottom of the order, but he's expensive now.
Yep.
And that, he may not get that extra at bat. They're going to be winning. They're not going to bat in the 9th more than likely. So it's a little tough. But I get it, the play, but I just don't know if I want to spend that money. I know one at bat shouldn't sway you that much, but I don't know. We'll see. I got to look at that one a little bit deeper, but I'm with you on those guys. So, all right, game number 2, the Lotte Giants, 19-19 against the KT Wiz, 16-22. We just got a flash this second. The KT Wiz are now a 156 favorite. You can get them plus 122 on the run line. And this is the single highest over-under on the slate, 10.5. So is this a bats game for you, Mr. Hansen?
It is. I like these KT bats. I also kind of like the KT pitcher. So similar to the Dinos profile here, taking the home pitcher and home hitters. The reason I like these hitters for KT is that they're facing Sehwang Park, who's given up 6 homers already this year, and he has an ERA of almost 6. He's faced the Wiz twice, 1 solid outing, 1 poor outing. Rojas went 2 for 2 against him in the first one, so I like him at 5,500. B Kang only faced him once, went 1 for 3. I'll have some exposure to him. Our boy Joe hasn't faced him, but he's only 2,800. If he's at the top of the order, I'll have some exposure to him. It's a good stack with those 3 lefties. Yeah. And then their catcher, S. Jang, he's nice because he's 3,700, so he's sort of in that middle tier. We use him a fair amount. He went 1 for 2.
Where's he batting, Sugar Shane?
Yeah, he's probably going to be in the 7th or 8th hole. But catcher's really a tough spot sometimes.
It is tough. Yeah, the couple of expensive ones, it's hard to pull the trigger sometimes. But yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Because I don't want to spend 6,100 for Yang.
No.
So.
Yeah, that's crazy. So tell me about Bay. You like him, huh?
I do. He's had 2 really strong outings against Lotte already this year. 6 1/3 with 2 earned runs, and then 8 innings with no earned runs. His ERA is 2.66. He's only given up 2 homers. The only hesitation is, Lotte does do well against righties. Guys like Jay Gian. Son has hit 2 for 7 against him this year, so he's done okay. But he's had their number. Daiho Lee's 0 for 5 against him this year. On is 0 for 5. Machado's only 1 for 6. So we'll see if he can do it again. But he's going to be in a number of my lineups.
Yeah, and his price is right. I mean, you can't beat that price. There's no question about it. So definitely an option for the number 2 pitching spot. I'm with you on those KT bats. I think, there's some really good options in there without question. I think Joe at the top is so cheap for a leadoff guy, and he's been impressive to me. I think his price is going to rise. Rojas is due, I think, to have a big game. He's let us down a few times recently, but this seems to be a good matchup for him. So, I can see at least one or two KT guys. I'm probably not going to mess with the Giants today either, because I'm still considering Bay as that number 2 pitcher. So, all right, game 3, Doosan Bears at 22-16 against the LG Twins at 25-13. And the up-to-date line in this game is the LG Twins minus 149. So that's a big underdog for Doosan. They're not that big of an underdog. You can, if you really love the Twins tonight, you can get them plus 129 on the run line, which is a good line. And their over-under is 9.5. So since you're part owner of the Doosan Bears, are you on the Doosan Bears as a dog today?
Nah, I don't think I can do it, unfortunately.
Wow.
We're back to them. They're facing a lefty, a solid lefty, ERA right around 4. He faced him earlier this year, 6 innings, 1 earned run. The only guy who had any success really was Jae Hwan Kim, the first baseman outfielder. He had a home run. Our boy Jay Cha did not play, and got to mention him for a couple reasons. First of all, we added him to our pool last night in DraftKings because I pulled up the game tape of that left-handed pitcher for Samsung, the 18-year-old, and watched one of his games, and he was not overpowering at all. Small guy, really most of his fastballs topping out at about 85. He was really fortunate to get no runs allowed in that game against Lotte that I watched. So, late in the night, we added him to the player pool for our members, Jay Cha, that is.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he hit a home run last night. And sure enough, again, they dropped his price again. He's down to 2,100. He's eligible at first base and second base, and he's got 8 homers and 26 RBI. And
I mean, if you don't play him, you got to have rocks in your head. I mean, he's flat out just a crazy fade for 2,100. I'm with you.
The only reason not to play him is because it's a lefty-lefty matchup. But still, it's like, you feel pretty good about that because he has a decent batting average.
$2,100 for a number 3 hitter with 8 homers. I mean, I can't believe that it's that off. That's nuts.
Let me compare him for a second to our boy Dongwon Park for Kiwoom. He has 8 homers and 29 RBI. He's 5,600.
Yeah.
He's basically more than twice as expensive. His batting average. Yeah, his batting average is better, but still. So
you got to do it. You just got to do it, and you can take him at second, no less. Yeah. I mean, wow. Okay, so we know that's a one-off for anybody that has a brain.
Yeah. So I'm in general more excited about these LG bats.
Yeah.
Now Young Ha Lee, the Doosan pitcher, is he had a good outing against them last time. 6 1/3, only 1 earned run, but his ERA is 5.22. He just got absolutely rocked by the Dinos. 7 earned runs, 14 hits. Now, the thing is, he doesn't give up home runs. He's only give up 1 homer. He does what he does is he throws a lot of sliders, so he keeps the ball down. Yeah. So I want to get into these LG bats, these lefty sluggers like H. Kim and Ramos, and they both were strong against him when they met earlier. They both had 2 hits. Yeah. But again, it's the only hesitation is can they take him deep? He just doesn't give up homers. So I'll have some exposure to both of those guys, and maybe Wai Youngtaek Park, who's down at 2,100. He's another value option if you want. So I'll have a lot of exposure to those guys. We'll just have to wait and see if they can get any extra base hits.
I'm with you. I mean, I really like the top of the LG lineup. Lee, O, Kim, and Ramos. Top 4, all lefties. Even if they don't go long, I can see, back-to-back doubles and, a line drive single and 2 RBIs. I mean, I see the top of this order doing well. So I'm not on either pitcher tonight, but I do, Jay Chow from Doosan, free square along with Koo. I think just 100% of all your lineups have to have those two guys, in my opinion. And then, stacking 2 or 3 guys from that top 4 lefty bats from LG is the way I'm looking.
I like it.
All right. We go to game 4 of 5. The SK Wyverns at 12 and 26 against the Kiwoom Heroes at 22 and 17. And the MyBookie.ag numbers for this game has the Kiwoom Heroes minus 163. They are plus 119 on the run line. I like that run line bet there. And it's over under 9.5. So the question is, what is the focus in this game from the hitter side? Because pitching wise, I find it hard to make a case for either one of these guys.
Yeah, I agree. If I had to go with one, I would take the Kiwoom pitcher because he is facing SK.
Yep.
But they got to him when they met earlier. They had 5 earned runs, 8 hits against him, so it's not the perfect matchup. But yeah, let's get some Kiwoom bats in here too if we have room, because these are lefties going against an average righty. They hit him around last time. The theme of that matchup was doubles. CO, the expensive H. Kim, Jung Ho Lee, and Dongwon Park all hit doubles against him. Had good games. So I will build a lineup with 3 or 4 Kiwoom guys, and hope they can string some runs together.
I don't blame you. My concern lately, though, one thing I have noticed, those Kiwoom hitters have increased in cost.
Yep.
So when you stack, if you do make a 3-man Kiwoom stack, even if it's like CO, Lee, and Kim, either one of the Kims, that's expensive. So I more than likely will try to either go one off or more than likely 2 guys from that Kiwoom side. I just think the spot is great for him. I wish I could, cost-wise, afford more of them, but I just think it's a little much there to stack 3 or 4 of them. But if you can get away with it and find the Jay Chas in that can save you some money, I think it's a great lineup for GPP. On the SK side, Jay Cha for SK has been hitting the ball for me when I played him. I've got to give him a shout out, because the other night when I had the 2 Jay Chas and along with Jung Ho Lee, the 3 of them combined for 80 fantasy points, and that was sweet. So he's got a soft spot. I don't mind Jamie Romack either. You pick him in the right spot, he can sting the ball. So he is a little bit more expensive. So maybe a one-off on the SK side. I don't particularly like either pitcher. And I'd say if you can afford 2, 3, 4 Kiwoom guys, get them in there.
Yeah, 2 more things on Kiwoom. You're right on CO. His price is up to 4,400 on DraftKings. That's the highest it's been.
It was 2,600 like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And then Dongwon Park, just want to mention, he's still listed as day-to-day on DraftKings, but he is expected to play tonight. We're still, 11 hours away from first pitch as we record this, so we'll update everybody there. But looks like he'll be back in the lineup at 5,600, and Byung Ho Park is still out. So maybe Dongwon Park will move up and hit cleanup and be in even better spot.
Could be. He's a little costly. I think he's the 2nd most expensive catcher, but he is capable of going deep at any moment. He's got a big stick for sure. All right, game 5, we're going to wrap it up with the Samsung Lions at the Kia Tigers. Samsung is 19 and 20. They have slipped below 500, and the Kia Tigers 21 and 17. And the line, the MyBookie line on this game is, where are they? Kia minus 178. They are plus 114 on the run line. And over under in that game is the lowest of the night by a full run at 8.5. So let me pose this question to you, Andrew.
Okay.
My initial feeling was plug and play. Gagnon is my number 2 pitcher. I like him. He's going against a team I think he can handle. And, I like the fit. I like the line. It's low. He's a favorite. As far as the over-under, it's low. So, I'm wondering if cost-wise, that's the way to go. I think the highest owned combination for the night is going to be Koo and Gagnon personally, but that's the big decision. So I'm really interested to see where you stand on this one.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably the most common pairing of pitchers, and I will use it. I'm not going to use it in every lineup by any means because I do like the KT pitcher we talked about for the $1,200 in savings on DraftKings.
Yeah.
But in this pitcher's duel, I certainly do prefer Drew Gagnon. The big difference to me is he's only given up 1 home run all season. Buchanan on the other side, similar ERA, but he's given up 6 homers.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, they're all to lefties. So with him dealing with Preston Tucker and H. Cha in the heart of that lineup for Kia, I'm going to stay away from Buchanan here tonight. I'm going to get some exposure to Tucker and H. Cha, and then I'm going to get Gagnon out there in some of my lineups. He's allowing a 173 batting average to righties.
Okay.
And he, the strange thing about him is he just doesn't have many of these games where it's like 7 innings, 1 earned run. It's always he's always giving up 3 or 4, runs, which is surprising because his WHIP is 1.07. He's great with strikeouts. And I'll just, if you haven't seen him, I'll just give a quick description of his arsenal. His fastball is right around 91. He throws a 12-6 curveball, and he mixes in a slider. Changeup has a lot of downward movement and in on righties. Yeah. And he really mixes as well. He mixes his pitches well. He's going in and out, up and down. Really keeps batters off balance. That's why I'm surprised he hasn't had more sterling outings. But even though Samsung's been trending well with their bats, I will put Drew Gagnon out there in a few lineups.
Yeah, and I think he deserves to. I mean, he seems like a veteran, accomplished pitcher. That's for sure. And he's the kind of guy that really grabs control of a game. And if you remember when we went over the hard hit rankings a couple of days ago, he was number 6 on that list. But the most impressive part was not only is he only allowing a 13.9% hard hit rate, he's holding all batters, righty lefty combined, to a 230 average. So that is solid. And I think he is a really good play tonight. I hate spending tons of money on 2 pitchers, but sometimes, I just feel like that you can't get away from it. And, Koo is 5th in the league in hard hit rate. So, you tell me I can take the 5th and 6th ranked guys, both giving up 13% hard hit rate. I'll take that all day long and take my chances. My fade of the day, by the way, is Buchanan. I think that the 6 homers, he's gotten lucky that a lot of those have been solo shots, and they sting him pretty good. And I know he's had decent results and he grinds, but I'm not impressed with him. And he's the kind of guy, instead of giving up a couple solos, he gives up a couple 3 home run homers, and all of a sudden he's at a 0 or minus in the fantasy ranks. So I would steer clear of him. Tucker, if it ever looked like a Tucker night, I think this does. And H. Cha too. But again, money is a tough thing. Salary is not always the easiest. So something has to give somewhere. If you go with a Koo Gagnon pitching on DraftKings, and you want to put a few Kiwoom, you want to put, all these teams we're talking about that are somewhat costly, some dinos, etc., and you try to get this 2-3 hitters, for Key in there, it's going to be tight. So the question is, do you go to a cheaper second pitcher like a Bay from KTW, or even cheaper than that, and then try to stack a bat in there? Or do you find another lower price guy, maybe, take one of the catchers that's hitting lower in the order that's still decent. So it's a good night. I think I'm a cash player, but I think it's a better night for GPP players because you can make your builds, even though there's a couple of free squares, you can really use different strategy and end up being very contrarian with your builds.
Yeah, Coach, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say,
Yep.
If you're a cash player, if you're a player who likes to typically make one lineup, I would play a little bit lighter tonight. If you're someone who likes to make multiple lineups, this is the type of night to make a few different ones and circle in these high-priced bats. They're all in such good situations. You mentioned it, the Dinos, KT, LG, Kiwoom, even Kia a little bit. Really, the 5 home teams have a lot of power bats, expensive bats in good spots. So this is your chance to make multiple lineups and see if you can get the right combination together.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I mean, we're both on the same wavelength. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to go lighter as a cash player, but what I'm going to do is shift the bar a little bit more to the GPP side rather than the cash side. So okay. I think, I like in slates like this where I have multiple lineups that I want to put in, probably put 3 in. I like playing those 3 max entries and things like that because then you're on equal footing.
Yep.
Again, that's always the smart way to be. If you're playing a one single shot against 150 lineups from somebody else, it's tough. But if you can get equal footing, make a few pivots, tonight's the kind of night I think you can do that well. So I like it, man. What do you think on the slate rating? Not to put you under pressure, but from the GPP side, what are you thinking tonight? 3-4 stars, somewhere in there?
Yeah, I feel like this is more of a 4-star night.
Okay, fantastic. I will roll with that as well. So a couple things. Don't forget, DFSCoachTalk.com. You can follow us on there, jump on, become a member. The clock does not start ticking on your membership until the first day of NBA, July 30th. So you basically get the next 6 weeks free to build up your bankroll in PGA and KBO, which we've been doing very well so far. And, so jump in there. Also, MyBookie, we want to thank them for their sponsorship. Go to mybookie.ag for all that action. And same thing with TVG, tvg.com. Most cable networks carry TVG1 and TVG2. Which basically brings you all the races every day. Again, please subscribe, hit that alarm button. That means a lot to us on the social media side of things. Follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. We're at DFS Coach Talk on YouTube and Twitter. You can listen to any of our historical podcasts on YouTube. And on Instagram, we're DFS_Coach Talk. A lot of great stuff. Shane's been doing a terrific job on there with content. Also, our charity of choice, as we always talk about each day, mambaon3.org. That's all spelled out. MAMBAONTHREE.org. Wonderful charity set up by Kobe's family. So definitely want to jump on there as well. And as far as Twitter, we'll finish with that. Twitter, at DFS Coach Talk. You can follow all of us, all the pros. We're always in there. I'm at Joe Sarvadi, JoeSarvadi. He is at Language Olympic. And our man Shane is at DET Sports Shane. He is Mr. Detroit. So that is it, buddy. What do you think? Do we got it covered?
We got it covered. Yeah. Thanks for all your support, everyone. And make sure to tune in tomorrow for another doubleheader, KBO and PGA.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the evening. Get some rest. Get up nice and early. Catch some KBO, a little coffee, and then catch some PGA. I mean, heck, it's good stuff, man. You can't beat it.
No doubt.
All right. For my man, Andrew Hansen, I am Coach, also known as Joe Sarvadi. So I got it both ways. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you again tomorrow, again for 2 podcasts. Double the pleasure tomorrow. As we look to crush it in DFS.